Thanks for joining us. And today we're going to talk about Kriya Yoga and the 7 Enlightenment factors. So often in Kriya Yoga, Kriya Yogis, these meditators, are looking to have states occurring, these states of consciousness arising in their awareness, progressing through stages of meditation. And that is definitely something that everyone is interested in, is making progress in meditation. However, the perspective that one takes in meditation about one's progress really helps define whether or not one will actually progress. And so one of the major things that people have as a viewpoint by default in meditation, and this includes Kriya Yogis, is that they think about the meditation as it happening to them. The viewpoint is from an egocentric perspective, and I don't say egocentric in a negative way, just from the perspective of the self, as things happening to the self in meditation. And so this manifests particularly in situations when one feels like they're stuck in their meditation. They've reached a certain state, but they don't feel that they can go any farther, and they're not sure how to proceed. And from that perspective, they're thinking or feeling, why isn't there a change? Or how do I get beyond this? And it's really about that perspective of the I. Now, if one has experienced very deep meditation states, it usually happens when one forgets about oneself entirely. And it could be that one is absorbed in something that is so transcendental that the sense of I just seems to disappear, and the person is absorbed in that state. And that can be a state of samadhi, for example, right? But often what is happening is that people are going through their meditation from the I perspective, that everything that one experiences in terms of I, mine, or myself in meditation. In a way, it's kind of like that old religious idea of being able to put an elephant through the eye of the needle. It can't be done. The sense of self, of the I, me, and myself, is really holding one back in meditation. So how does one approach then getting into deeper states of meditation or experiencing deeper states of meditation in Kriya Yoga or any kind of meditation? Well, one needs to take a different perspective than the I, mine, or myself, and to see things in meditation as they actually are, which is an impermanent process, that things are happening whether or not there's a concept of me, mine, or myself. This is really significant because the idea about the self experiencing the meditation, somehow being in control of the meditation state, that's not what occurs at all. And if one is able to discard that idea, to let go of it, one will naturally start to progress in meditation. So part of the mechanism or the way that one progresses in meditation is by letting go. And that's about basically the preconditioned aspects in our minds coming into our meditation. And if we hang on to them, even if it's attachment and identification with a certain state of consciousness, we tend to go there again and again and be stuck there. What we want to do is to be able to see in meditation things as they are and go to the deepest levels of realization, the deepest levels of awakening. That is really what the whole point of this process is. It's not to get into a state of bliss and just be in enjoyment. That's kind of like going to a party with a bunch of friends, and it's great, the music's playing, everyone's dancing and so on, and you feel really good. And then at a certain point you say, I've had enough of this and I want to go to something that is more enjoyable, but your friends don't want to change. They want to stay there and party it up. And eventually you tire of that. And so that's kind of like what it is in meditation when people get stuck into these bliss realms and they're not able to move beyond, and they can intuit that there's something else, but they don't know how to go beyond it. It's because they've identified with those particular meditation phenomena without seeing the true nature of the reality of those phenomena. It's that they're impersonal and that they are also impermanent. They arise and they disappear. And when you see that, when you have that true perception, you're able to move beyond those states. In a way, you're not actually moving beyond, you're perceiving what is beyond those states. and getting rid of the sense of I that's holding you back from seeing what is truly there. So in practicality, how do you do this? Well, the 7 enlightenment factors are evidence-based approaches in meditation that allow you to start to use some of the skills in meditation to actually progress, to move beyond the egocentric conception in meditation. Everything is about me, everything is about I, everything is mine. I identify with this, I like or dislike that. You are able to let go of many things that you would normally cling to because you have a skill set to do it with. The first enlightenment factor, which is the fundamental, which is required for progress in any meditation, is mindfulness. And mindfulness is defined as remembering to recognize when the mind's attention is moved from one thing to another. What often happens when people forget about being aware is that the view of the sort of egocentric approach comes shrouding over their eyes, so they're not actually able to see things as they are. They only care about how those things relate to I, mine, or myself. So mindfulness is being able to be aware of how one's attention, of how one's mind is moving from one thing to the other. And it's such a simple practice of just being aware of how the mind is moving and not being attached to what the mind is moving to. When you're able to do that, it's easier to see phenomena as they are, as they arise, and then to let them go. And that way you're not clinging on to things, that you're not identifying with things. And the meditation will progress because you're seeing the impersonal nature of the meditation. The fact that it's phenomena that exist independent of your perception, independent of your sense of self. What this then brings about is the investigation of states, or understanding what state of awareness one is experiencing. So at Modern Kriya, we look at the way of the states of meditation in terms of the 4 jhanas. And so the 4 jhanas are states of deeper and deeper levels of meditation, states of realization in meditation. And when one is mindful and see how the mind's attention moves from one thing to the other in meditation, and is not attached and identified with what one is experiencing, one is able to have a realization of what state one is in, what state of consciousness one is experiencing. And so it could be a bodily bliss state that is happening, something sort of a bliss in the body, a rapture of the body. It could be the arising of a sense of joy, of happiness. It could be a feeling of contentment, or it could be a feeling of purity of mindfulness due to equanimity. These are the 4 jhanas, or states of realization within the material realms, if you will. So being able to have the mindfulness to recognize where the mind is moving in relation to one's meditative experience, and then having the understanding of what state one is in, one can pay attention to it and it has an energy. And that is a 3rd enlightenment factor, energy. This energy, in turn, brings out a sense of joy in meditation. And this joy brings out a sense of tranquility in meditation. And when one is tranquil, one experiences a collectedness of mind, meaning that one's attention becomes optimal. It is neither concentrating too much on one's inner experiences and holding on to them, nor is it dispersed. It is just right, the Goldilock Principle, that is collected around the meditation experience, the meditation object. It is open enough to allow things to come up so that one can let them go, so that one doesn't become identified with them, so that hindrances can be released in meditation, which then spontaneously leads one into experiencing deeper meditative states. And this all leads to equanimity, where the enlightenment factors are balanced. By balancing these enlightenment factors, one is able to let go of old karma. Old karma is a preconditioned states of mind that are coming from previous choices. It's like being in a river, and these karmic seeds, if you will, what we call samskaras, are the result of previous choices, and they're coming from a higher level, and they start to percolate into our consciousness at whatever meditative level we are at. And when we can see them as they arise and learn to let them go, we're basically releasing old karma. It is about seeing things in their true nature, things as they are, having the true perception, the realization, the awakening, and that realization creates permanent, lasting change. So if you have any questions about this video, feel free to send me an email at info@modernkriya.com. Also check our website at modernkriya.com and our YouTube channel. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you next time.